Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are really diving headfirst into this one. We're tackling Rhonda Byrne's The Power.
Yeah.
You know, those books that kind of make you think, wait, could this be real? So that's what we're going to explore today. Get ready to maybe discover how much power you might actually have and how to unlock it.
What's really fascinating about Byrne's work is that it takes these age-old concepts of, personal power and manifestation, which honestly can sometimes feel a little vague and a little out there.
Yeah.
And she makes them startlingly concrete.
Absolutely. And so we're not just talking about, like, wishing on a star here.
Right.
We're talking about harnessing a force.
Yeah.
And that force, according to Byrne, is love.
Interesting.
And not just the warm and fuzzy feeling,
Yeah.
but love as like a fundamental energy that shapes our reality. What if, as Byrne suggests, the love you feel has a tangible impact on your world?
It's kind of a radical idea when you think about it, right?
It is.
Byrne is basically saying, forget what you think you know about love.
Right.
This isn't just about romance or affection, It's about the very fabric of existence.
And she doesn't stop there. She goes on to say that positive and negative energy aren't just words we use to describe our moods, they're actually frequencies that we're emitting.
Wow.
Think of it like tuning into a radio station, right?
Okay.
You are broadcasting your energy, and the universe is responding by giving you more of the same wavelength. Have you ever noticed how one good thing leads to another? Or how a bad day can just spiral?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Totally.
That's exactly what Byrne is getting at, right? She calls this the law of attraction. What you put out, you get back, often amplified.
Right.
But here's the good news. You don't have to be perfectly positive all the time to see results.
Okay.
Byrne says it's about tipping the scales, aiming for more positive energy than negative.
I love that. So it's not about striving for this unattainable state of like constant bliss.
Yeah.
It's more about being aware of your energy and making a conscious effort to tip the balance in your favor.
Yeah, totally. She even puts a number on it. Just 51% positivity is all it takes. Suddenly it feels very doable.
It does. It feels attainable.
And to kind of illustrate this, Byrne shares this really compelling anecdote about a woman who was struggling in poverty. She was in a really difficult marriage. And instead of dwelling on her hardships, she makes a deliberate choice to focus on what she wants: a loving partner, a beautiful life abroad.
Interesting. So far, this is sounding like, positive thinking.
Right.
But here's where I think it gets really interesting.
Okay.
This woman doesn't just wish for a better life. She takes specific actions to align herself with her desires.
Okay.
Byrne mentions how this woman would imagine herself strolling through the streets of Spain with her dream partner, feeling the warmth of the sun and the joy of her new life.
This is key. Byrne really emphasizes the importance of not just thinking, but feeling.
Okay.
This woman didn't just visualize a picture. She stepped into the feeling of already having what she wanted. Wow. And incredibly, it wasn't long before she met a man who swept her off her feet, and together they created her dream life in Spain.
That's incredible. Okay, so we're talking about focusing your energy, visualizing your desired outcome. But Byrne takes it a step further with another story. And this one really gets into the nitty-gritty of manifestation. Have you ever heard about the calla lily story?
Oh, the calla lily story. Right. Yeah, it's this really simple story, but it perfectly illustrates how powerful focused intention can be.
Okay.
So in this anecdote, this woman, she wants to test this whole manifestation principle. She's like, okay, I'm going to try to attract something specific, something a little out of the ordinary.
Okay.
She decides on a white calla lily.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And this isn't just a fleeting thought, right? Byrne describes how this woman immersed herself in the experience, visualizing the flower's delicate curves, almost smelling its fragrance, feeling the joy of receiving it.
Exactly. It's not just a thought bubble that floats away, right? This is dedicated focus.
Totally.
And wouldn't you know it, a couple of weeks later, she's at a friend's house for dinner. What does she see on the table? A beautiful bouquet of white calla lilies.
Oh, no way.
I know.
Talk about a sign.
Right.
But it gets even better. As she's leaving, her friend's daughter, totally unprompted, picks a calla lily from the bouquet and hands it to her.
Oh, wow.
It's almost as if the universe was like, okay, you got the message, loud and clear.
That's amazing. What's really cool about that story is it highlights this crucial point that you don't have to start with some grand life-altering goal,
Right.
Byrne encourages us to test these principles with smaller desires,
Yeah.
prove to ourselves that it works.
It's like dipping your toes in the water before you dive into the deep end.
Exactly.
So for those listening, imagine applying this principle to something you desire, right? A new job, a healthier body, a deeper connection with loved ones. What if, by simply focusing your energy and feeling the joy of receiving it, you could invite those desires into your reality?
It's a powerful thought. And, you might be wondering, okay, so how do I actually do this? What are the steps? Well, Byrne breaks down the creation process into 3 simple yet profound steps. Imagine, feel, receive.
Imagine, feel, receive. It sounds almost too easy.
Right. But again, it might sound simple. But what we're talking about here is aligning your thoughts, your emotions, your actions with your desired outcome. You're becoming a vibrational match for what you want to attract.
Right.
And Byrne links this back to ancient wisdom and spiritual traditions, the power of focused thought and emotion.
Well, it's true. It's not just Rhonda Byrne saying this. It's this concept that has resonated across cultures and throughout history. So let's break those steps down a little bit further. We talked about imagining. We talked about feeling. What about receiving? Byrne stresses the importance of feeling as if you already have what you desire.
Yes.
Not just hoping for it, not just wishing for it.
Exactly. It's about shifting your internal state, right, to match the reality that you want to create. Act as if it's already yours. Embody that feeling of gratitude and joy.
And this is where Byrne uses those analogies of mirrors, echoes, and boomerangs, right?
Yeah.
What you project outward is what you attract back, only amplified.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it?
It is.
If you're constantly dwelling on what you lack, feeling resentment or envy, you're actually attracting more of that into your life.
Right. It's like that old saying, where attention goes, energy flows.
Right.
But, and this is a big but, if you can shift your focus to what you do have, what you're grateful for, what you want to create, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. It's about shifting your mindset from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance. Now, let's address kind of this common question that might be coming up for people. Is this whole imagination thing, is it just about daydreaming?
Right.
Can simply imagining something make it real?
That's what I thought too.
Right. But Byrne argues that imagination is far more powerful than we realize.
Okay.
And she shares this incredible story about a woman who used this principle to manifest her dream job. And here's the thing. She didn't just sit around visualizing. She took action.
Interesting.
Yeah, Byrne describes how this woman would live as if she already had the job.
Oh, wow.
She would set her alarm as if she were going to her dream job. She'd even plan her outfits, and write in her journal about her success in this role.
It's like she was sending a clear signal to the universe, right? Like, this is what I'm aligned with. This is what I'm ready for.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. As she embodied this feeling of already having the job, opportunities started to present themselves.
Wow.
And within a few months, she was offered a position remarkably similar to the one she had so vividly imagined.
Wow, that's powerful. It reminds me of that famous Einstein quote, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions."
Exactly. And what's so interesting is that Byrne doesn't shy away from connecting these ideas to science,
Yeah.
She touches upon the field of quantum physics.
Right.
Exploring concepts like the observer effect, the idea that our observation impacts reality.
I love that she doesn't just present this as some mystical concept,
Yeah.
but actually delves into the science behind it.
Well, think about it this way. Have you ever walked into a room, right, and you can just feel the energy shift?
Yeah.
Your mere presence can change the atmosphere.
Totally.
That, in essence, is the observer effect in action.
Okay, so that makes sense. So we're not just talking about wishful thinking here, but a potential link between our consciousness and the physical world. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is. And while we don't want to get too bogged down in complex scientific theories here, the point is this. Science is starting to explore what spiritual traditions have long understood, that we are active participants in creating our reality.
It's empowering, isn't it? This idea that we have more influence than we realize.
Absolutely.
And speaking of influence, let's talk about another powerful tool that Byrne emphasizes: gratitude. She argues that gratitude isn't just about good manners. It's a potent force for amplifying the positive in your life.
It's like putting rocket fuel on your manifestations,
Okay.
Byrne even references Einstein's practice of expressing gratitude 100 times a day.
100 times a day.
I know. It sounds like a lot, but
That's intense.
it is. But the key here is to weave gratitude into your everyday life. you know.
Okay.
And Byrne breaks it down into 3 types of gratitude. Gratitude for the past, present, and this.
Wait, hold on. Gratitude for the future.
Yeah.
That's a new one. How can you be grateful for something that hasn't happened?
Well, that's where the real magic comes in, right? Byrne suggests feeling gratitude for what you want as if you already have it.
Okay.
It's about embodying that future state of joy and fulfillment, like right now, in this moment.
Okay.
Remember that feeling of receiving the calla lily?
Yeah.
It's about cultivating that same energy, that same sense of it's already mine, even before it manifests in the physical world.
So if you want to attract more abundance,
Yeah.
you don't just wish for a bigger paycheck. You feel the gratitude for that abundance as if it's already flowing into your life.
Yes.
It's about shifting your internal reality to match your desired external reality.
Precisely. And here's where Byrne gets really practical, right?
Right.
She doesn't just focus on these concepts in a vacuum. She applies them to specific areas of life, like money, relationships, even health.
Right. She's not advocating for some kind of spiritual bypass where you just ignore your problems and hope they magically disappear.
No.
She's saying these principles can be used to create positive change in all areas of your life.
Exactly. For example, when it comes to money, Byrne encourages us to examine our beliefs about wealth and abundance.
Okay.
Because, she argues that many of us have these limiting beliefs that are actually blocking us from receiving the financial abundance we desire.
It's like we're subconsciously sabotaging ourselves, right?
Yes.
With these thoughts like
Yeah.
money is hard to come by or I'm not good with finances.
Exactly. And Byrne suggests replacing those limiting beliefs with empowering ones, like I am open to receiving abundance, or money flows into my life with ease and grace. Remember, it's about aligning your energy with what you want to attract.
And it's not just about money, right?
Right.
Byrne also applies these principles to relationships.
Yes.
She tells this powerful story about a woman who was on the verge of divorce. And instead of focusing on her husband's flaws and their constant arguments, she made a conscious decision to focus on the love they had shared.
Yeah.
The early days of their relationship.
It's a beautiful example of the power of shifting your focus.
Totally.
Right. Instead of dwelling on what was wrong, she chose to water the seeds of love and appreciation that are still present.
And the result, their relationship completely transformed. They rekindled their love and created a stronger, more fulfilling partnership. It really highlights this idea of taking responsibility for your own happiness, would you say?
Absolutely. It's not about waiting for your partner to change. It's about choosing to see the best in them.
Right.
And responding from a place of love and compassion.
It's a powerful reminder that we have more control over our experiences than we often realize. And speaking of control, Byrne even delves into the realm of health. She shares an anecdote about a woman who used visualization and gratitude to overcome a serious heart condition.
Yeah. And it's important to emphasize here that Byrne is not suggesting that we abandon traditional medical care.
Oh, absolutely not.
She's simply highlighting the powerful connection between our minds and bodies.
Totally. It's about being an active participant in your own healing journey.
Yes.
Not relying solely on external interventions.
Right.
It's about harnessing the power of your thoughts and emotions to create positive change in your physical well-being.
And this brings us to, I think, Byrne's final point, which is incredibly important.
Yeah.
She argues that this power we have, this ability to manifest our desires, it isn't just about personal gain.
Okay.
It's about becoming a force for good in the world.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we're all connected and the energy we put out into the world has a ripple effect.
Exactly. By embodying love, gratitude, and abundance, we're not only transforming our own lives, but also contributing to a more loving, abundant, and compassionate world for everyone.
So I think if we're going to wrap up the power, I think the key takeaway here is that we are far more powerful than we realize.
Absolutely.
And by harnessing the force of love, we can create a reality that is aligned with our deepest desires and our highest potential. It's about recognizing that we are not just victims of circumstance, but active creators of our own lives and the world around us.
It's a powerful message. And it kind of leaves us with this really profound question. If life is responding to you, what message are you sending out today?
That's something to think about. And that's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.